Hey, it's Jordan from Two Guys in Traffic, and we're here in the Lexus UX200 sitting in Brian's driveway on Columbus Day. So you'll be watching this a few weeks later. We're going to find some traffic, even if there isn't any. We're going to see what we can do. So stay tuned. We're going to back out. We're going to see how the cross traffic. We're going to see. Oh, we got alerted.
It didn't shut you down.
Now we're getting alerted from the other. Well, I like the little arrow.
It is true. It's much less angry about it than the car ahead of us would be.
Yeah. I can't see a thing.
Good. Not good anymore because you stopped. You had time.
Well,
he's turning. You're good.
Is he? Oh, look at that. All right. It also doesn't have 360 camera, which the Volvo has.
It also has a $4,000 lower price tag.
Yes. So, yeah, Lexus, this is the UX, which I think stands for Urban Crossover. Sure. According to the Lexus people. And it's their smallest. And it's basically everybody's smallest is sort of this. Is it compact luxury crossover? Is that what we're...
I mean,
they call it a compact.
This thing's tiny. I mean, it's... Even when you parked it behind the XC40 and I looked at it, I'm like, the XC40 is visibly larger than this is.
Yeah, it's the XC40 is certainly taller and a little higher ground clearance, it looks like, and things like that. Inside, though, it feels pretty similar.
We'll have to pull up the dimensions. I got my reservations, but I mean, it feels
similar.
Yeah, man, and you know the way it feels inside too, like. Just the fact that everything's angled towards the driver, right? It's kind of got this cockpit layout as opposed to the uniform infotainment, and that kind of changes the orientation. It's really a driver's vehicle. Even as a passenger sitting here, things feel like less,
You're less important.
I'm way less important. Like, how do I change the damn radio? You like, you know what I mean? It's...
Well, funny that you bring that up because, well, I already told you, but where's the volume knob? It's not up here. It's not down here. It's here.
Yeah.
It's down here. And there's this I kind of like it because the volume knob's like here on this thing. And Mazda does it this way where the volume's like down here so you don't have to reach for it. And I kind of like because you rest your hand there and then you can change tracks and you can change volume and you can change.
I'm just saying, if this is a vehicle you're going to have your spouse in, and I'm thinking like in my own personal life you're driving, the fact that everything will be oriented towards the driver and the infotainment's not accessible, and I got to reach over here somewhere and figure out where my controls are for my heated seats.
Oh, they're right
this
here.
Would lead to friction.
But it's got auto. It has
It does have
Lexus,
auto. I like the auto.
What did we just? I think it's called Climate Concierge or something. And so it autos, and I kind of like that. And I like this up here. These buttons are okay because you get the volume or the temperature up down. Yeah. These are all nice.
I got no problems with the buttons. I have problems with the way they're
sort of tilted a little bit.
Yeah, the orientation. Exactly.
I would imagine, and we could ask the Lexus people, but I would imagine that they said in our market research, this is a car that's primarily driven by one person alone.
I would believe that.
And so, therefore, you just sort of turn everything a little bit, and you angle it towards us, and then it's fine. And it certainly is angled a little bit. There's a lot of weirdness going on with the way all the controls are laid out, though. And we'll start with the phone. So you've got this little hideaway pocket down here, and your phone can go there, and that's fine. If the 12-volt, this power adapter pops down, which is a little odd, but okay. But the USB is back here in the center thing.
Right.
So you have to run the cable up there, like by you or around you, or I don't know how you're supposed to do it. And so I just have been like letting it sit there, and that's not a very...
And that's not even a wireless charging pad. It's not
a wireless charging pad because that's where the 12-volt is. So I feel like there should be a USB there.
Well, that probably is the intention, is use just regular cigarette lighter adapter in there and go on your way.
But there's two USB ports in here, and that's how it connects to CarPlay. So you have to plug it in here.
Yeah. You say it connects to CarPlay. How does it connect to Android Auto?
I don't know. I haven't tried. I don't have an Android phone, so I don't care.
It doesn't is the short answer.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
If you're one of those Android phone owners, not this car.
Don't buy this car.
Yeah.
Or upgrade to an iPhone.
Upgrade.
That everybody should do.
Yeah.
So you got that. So that's the first thing that's weird. And the cable, and like this thing slides around because there's a hole. There's a little hidey hole right there.
And it's weird because this thing goes two ways too. Like you say hidey hole, but like this Lexus do this right with this armrest.
I like the double thing. Yeah, the Mercedes does that too, and I kind of like that. So, and I like to joke with people who don't know any better and say, look, it's got two places to store things because it's got this side and I can put things in, and then it's got this side where you can put things in. And they go, wow. Yeah, so it's got two center consoles. Yeah, so you got that, and that's about it. This thing's really wide.
It is. I was thinking that it cuts into your like spaces.
Yeah, which it sort of gets you that cockpit feel where it's like, oh, I'm snug and I'm driving a race car, but you're not. You're driving a
That's what they go for. Like the seat actually has pretty good bolstering on the sides.
The seats are really comfy. They're really pretty.
Yes.
I really like that. We complained about this in the ES. You have the sharp edge on the door, which is not as bad, but it's also not as wide. So my arm doesn't like sit up there quite as good as it could.
Yeah, and the materials here are not what I would expect from a Lexus.
The door isn't great, but up here, this is really nice.
Yeah, I do like that.
I like this bit, and you got the stitching. That's really pretty. This thing, I mean, so you have the window sticker, right? It's 41, I think, and this is the luxury.
Right. So
trim.
I guess when you put it within the context of a Lexus, I expect way more. If you put it in the context of a car that starts at $33,000, okay.
It's not. I mean, this isn't the $33,000 one, but I think
I know what you mean.
The touch points in here, the steering wheel. I'm in love with Lexus steering wheels, and it is electric.
Okay.
So it's not a manual like the Volvo. Even I think the next car we're getting is a Volvo XC90, and I think even in the $80,000 trim, that is a manual adjust steering wheel.
But I'll make the argument of when do I ever adjust
the steering wheel? Right.
Yeah.
So this does have, which is kind of nice, and maybe it's tied into why it's such a tight, snug cockpit, even though it feels roomy.
Yeah.
It's very open up top. Is the seat will automatically slide back when you turn it off to help with entry and exit, which is a nice feature. And on a $40,000 car, you don't usually get that.
No, and it does have 3 driver memory. Yep. I don't know why, but I guess your teenager wants to drive it.
Maybe. I mean, this could be an easy. I could see a lot of this being, this is second car, commuter car.
Yeah.
Which then becomes the teenager car.
Yeah.
Right. So you have the big SUV is for your primary. Let's take the soccer team around, whatever. When you have your Lexus LX or something, huge monster.
And this is for the guy who also has a full-size truck or something?
Yeah, and you just have a smaller car. I will say I drove this into Boston and I parked it in the North End, believe it or not. Parked great.
Yeah.
It doesn't have auto park.
Well, I've said this, but the cars of the size, these small SUVs are super nimble for parking. That's one of the major advantages you get with them.
Well, that's the U in UX.
Yeah.
Urban, right? This is meant to drive. It's meant to be a city car. If you had one car and you lived in the city, this would be a great option for it because it's got enough storage. You fold the seats down. You can go to IKEA. You can do stuff like that. I don't think it will pass your ski test.
This is not a ski mobile,
but it does. Well, it's got the roof rack mounts.
It's got the roof rack mounts. In this trim, there's no all-wheel drive. You can get it. You go to the hybrid. You get the electric all-wheel drive where they put the motor in the back, and
but
the ground clearance. Just looking at it.
Ground clearance is not great.
Not good for snow.
I would say if you are regularly going to winter country or you live in Colorado, maybe this is not the car.
I would say if you live anywhere in the snow belt, I would.
But you put winter tires on, it's going to be fine. If you live in Boston, they plow the roads pretty well. It's slippery, so you put winter tires on. Other than that, you're fine.
If you live in Metro Boston, fine.
You live in Medford.
Yeah.
This is going to be fine. You
live an hour outside the city? No way.
Yeah. So, it depends. Your area. Put winter tires on. I think it's going to be perfectly capable.
Yeah.
But it's not as high. It's not as whatever. But it does have excellent fuel economy for a non-hybrid.
29 over 37 was that or something like that?
Yeah, 37 highway. Let's see. How have I been?
33 combined. I saw. That's
see how
really
I've been
good.
Doing. 30. Which is pretty combined. I was in the city.
Talking about the XC40 you parked behind. You're not getting that out of the XC40.
Yeah, and that's 30 not trying, and that's, stop and go traffic and all sorts of stuff.
And that's not even the hybrid.
Yeah, and so the hybrid's going to probably be even better. But I don't know, if you don't need the all-wheel drive, I don't know that you need the hybrid. With that sort of fuel economy?
No, with that, you don't care. You would never.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, so I'm
But that
perfectly
goes back
okay
to the
with
fact that this is really a hatchback and not really the SUV stance. And by going to that lower profile, that's how you get that fuel economy.
Yeah, and you know, it's
not that this car's really not that quick, right?
No,
I mean,
it's not quick.
That's one of the things that gets you there.
It's not slow either.
It's not slow.
It revs.
It's not,
you got to rev the crap out of it.
It's not Subaru Crosstrek slow, but
Good God.
it is not.
It's a great car, but man, is it slow. Yeah, and so, but you do have, you know, I think the engine's fine. The fuel economy is excellent, which I think that seems to be something Lexus is going for.
Yeah.
Right now, they're really hitting the fuel economy, and they do make excellent engines and transmissions. This has, I think, a 10-speed automatic, and you don't really notice it.
This is a car that will last forever. Reliability on this will be excellent.
Yep. And this one, you do have all the nice stuff. It's got the heads-up display.
Yep.
It's got heated and cooled seats, auto high beams, auto windshield wipers. There's no place to put your sunglasses, which is a little annoying, I have to say.
I can't even think of the last vehicle I was in without a sunglass holder.
Yeah, it's like, okay, where do I put my sunglasses? So my sunglasses are in here, and it's like, that's not ideal. But that's okay. Nice touch points, all those things. Pretty quiet. Not as quiet as the ES, but that's what you get for $15,000 more.
Yeah.
We got another Lexus here. What do we got here? An IS, which is like the next up sedan. I can't keep in track. One thing that is kind of cool that you can't see in the video, and even if I shot it, I don't know that you could see it, is so you have these little things for the vents.
Yeah.
Quarter turn shuts it off.
Yeah.
Right? At night, there's a little light in there. So you know where it is when you go to reach for it.
Cute.
And there's a little, that little nubbin there that's pointed up when it's on, and then to the right when it's off.
I'm shocked I put the light on.
So there's a little light in this. And it's like, that's a little thing, but that's a really, because if you're at night, where's the vent? I don't know of a single car that they have a light on the vent that I can remember that.
So we found some traffic.
We did find traffic. We should make a note about this bridge.
Yeah, we're
in Lowell, Massachusetts, fine city.
Yeah.
And this is the Rourke Bridge.
Correct.
And it is a temporary bridge.
It is temporary.
It was built temporarily to, were they going to build another bridge?
Yes, they were.
We're going to build a permanent bridge.
Yeah.
So this is the temporary bridge.
Apparently.
And this temporary bridge was built in 1983?
Yeah, the same year as me.
And me. And it is still temporarily here. You can see right there. I don't know if you can see it. 1983.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the temporary Rourke Bridge. It certainly feels temporary.
It does. You go over. It feels like somebody took their erector set out and was like, let's make a bridge.
That's certainly what it looks like. Which is great. And I think there's a great story that your mother tells about this bridge, because she's involved in transportation planning and things in the county. And so she tells a story about this temporary bridge and how it was being planned when she was pregnant with you.
Yeah. It was being constructed. Yeah. It was like, this is
still here.
Yeah. And she tells a story about her now very adult son. And
well, she's been telling the story a lot. My son who's in high school. My son who's in college. My son who's in graduate school. My son who has his PhD. And now it's like my son who's married. And if she had her way, my son who has children, but no. Sorry, Mom.
Mom's going to watch this, and I'm going to be in deep trouble now.
Your mom watches?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to have to make sure she does. Hi, Beverly. Yeah, so there we are. And this bridge clearly needs to be a 4-lane bridge. They should build another temporary one.
That is in the plans, and they're going to reorient this.
Has that been in the plans since 1983?
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
It might be built one decade. I mean, to be honest, most of the way these temporary structures go is eventually they just get condemned by the engineer from the state, and then
30 years after that, they build another one?
You got it.
Yeah.
Once it becomes a crisis and no one can get to work.
I can't wait in 30 more years to be taking the Lexus flying UX200. We don't need the temporary bridge anymore. We have flying cars. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will this car still be running in 30 years?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
10, sure.
Yeah, I remember talking to Lexus engineers once, and they said they typically engineer their Lexus engines, I think he said for 150 or 200,000 miles? 200,000 miles.
It's got to be 200,000. They go 150.
I think it was 200 or 250. That's right. It was GMC's pickups were 150,000.
Oh.
So this might be 250. Is their design thing, but it's a long way and further than most people I think would think about driving their cars.
Yeah.
Because you think about, I hit 200,000 miles in your car. They're like, well, number one, you're crazy because you're driving a lot. But there's that guy who's driven his Volvo 1.9 million miles.
People go to 200,000 miles all the time now, especially on the more reliable brands. 150 is a number you don't blink an eye at anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, if it's a Alpha.
My last car, I had a Santa Fe that we ditched at like 143, and I was pissed. And the only reason I got rid of it was quirky electronics. The transmission were fine.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and this is sort of now we're in the city, which is the home of this car. I don't know that this city is the home.
I don't think this city is the home of this car. I don't know what is, but I mean, this is not a super dense city. This is a city you could have a big SUV with no problem.
You could, because there is a lot of open street parking.
Yeah.
The houses aren't that tightly packed together. You could park.
Most houses have off-street parking.
Yeah, but if you were going into Boston or in New York or any of the big cities where parking's at a premium, where you're doing street parking all the time, or it's tight, this would be a good choice for that. Yeah. Even with the weird quirks like where your phone goes. Also, these cup holders are not the largest, which is okay because they're the standard size and everybody fits their cups in, right?
Yeah, these Starbucks tests would not go well in the
Starbucks tests will go okay, but then you can't reach your phone. And then if you have this plug here, that doesn't work great. And then it's just...
This is not an SUV with 19 cup holders. Let's put it that way.
It does not have 19 cup holders. It barely has 2. Because there's no...
That's a water bottle.
Oh, there is a water bottle storage in the side. Okay, so I'm okay with that. So you can put a water bottle.
Yeah. But the console in the rear seat's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, and so you have the 12-volt power up here, and then you have 2 USB power adapters in the center console and an aux in, and then there's 2 USBs on the back. So it definitely is ahead of the 4Runner in that category, which only has 1 for the entire car. So you got enough power to plug everywhere in, and I think this is going to be a pretty popular vehicle too with people who have like 1 kid.
Yeah, I think
throw little Timmy in the back. He can plug in his iPad, whatever.
I go back and forth on who would want to buy this car because on one hand you would think it's something targeted like your millennial crowd. I live in the city, I have a little extra money, I want to buy a nicer car.
It's married millennials who maybe have a kid who's under 4.
But okay, first off, even if your kid is under 4, you're buying a bigger car.
Not necessarily.
Does Lexus really... I mean, I just like it. I think Lexus is a brand image problem with that millennial. They
shouldn't, because this is a really nice car. I have never been in a Lexus that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And there's not many brands that is true about. And we just had the ES and we got this, and I've driven the LX and the R. I've driven a ton of Lexuses. I've liked them all, aside from their like weird quirks, which this certainly has weird Lexus quirks.
Yes.
But for $40,000, man, this is a nice luxury crossover. I would buy this if I were in the market for a car, maybe.
Me? I mean,
your wife would buy this. She looked out the window and was like, I really like that car. I like the color.
The green. Let's talk about the green for a minute. It's an excellent green.
We do like the green. Nori Green. Nori like seaweed.
I would buy this color car all day long.
Yeah. So basically, just take this color and put it across the entire range.
Yeah.
Because it's dark, so it's not going to show too much nasty stuff. And this is a good car. This is a good color for a car. And I got to say, I think this car looks good too. Lexus is sort of on point with their design language now. The front hourglass isn't too crazy. They were a little too crazy for a while, but I feel like it's not too crazy anymore. Exterior design's nice. It looks sporty, even though it's not particularly sporty.
Right. I mean, that's the kind of person who's going to buy this, right?
Someone who wants to look sporty but isn't particularly sporty.
Something like that.
There are...
Look at the bolstering seat. This seat wants to be in a race car.
Comfy.
It's like...
The seats are really good. I got to say, there is one thing that there's a lot of levels that I feel like stuff is going to get in. Crumbs, French fry, salty bits. There's a lot of...
They even have a holder for your coasters.
Yeah. It's like, oh, good thing we had a CD player. That's
right?
important.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But, that's fine. Other than that, I mean, glove box. How's a glove box? It's a good size. That's spacious.
That's the manual?
That's the manual. I don't know that that's necessary.
I mean, no, is the short answer. It's not. I don't know why the manuals all now aren't just like... here's a piece of paper with the link to the URL. Look it up on your phone.
Hyundai has one, and they have it in an app. And if you go in to do something like check your oil, you can aim it at your engine, and it will use augmented reality to show you where to adjust or where to put washer fluid in. It's pretty cool.
Because I've seen cars that have the apps, the manual, or have the manual built in the infotainment, but that's a nice feature.
Yeah, that was pretty clever. They were very proud of that when they did that. So I can dig that. Hey, look, it's UMass Lowell.
Yeah, it's a bridge that's not falling down.
It's not falling down.
But this is a perfect example of this is the next or 2 bridges down the river. This one only got replaced after the engineers came in one day and were like, it's closed.
Yeah, you cannot use this bridge anymore.
Right? And for a couple years, there was no bridge here, and it was a disaster. That's when they hoist things in the city.
Yeah. Well, if you decide that your current luxury compact crossover SUV is a disaster and you need to buy a new one, Lexus UX is worth a look, I think.
Yeah.
So, but that's about what I got.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Like, subscribe, notifications.
Mash that subscribe button. Mash it.
Send them the bill for the new computer.
Even hit it a couple times. Just extra subscribes. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us if you think that this is the car to choose over the Volvo XC40 or the BMW X1 or the Audi Q3 or the Mercedes GLA or the this is a crowded market.
It's a crowded market, and this actually is more like GLA-like inside. All right, we're done. We should.
We'll have more on compact luxury crossover SUVs.
About once a week.
At some point in the future because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Other than that, we found some traffic and now we might go get some dinner.
Yeah.
I can do that. Or ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream for dinner.
It's New England. Pumpkin ice cream. Columbus Day.
All right, I'm sold.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, thanks guys.
Bye.